Here we go. We're live.
We're live now.
Looks like it, yeah.
Welcome,
9 seconds
welcome,
in.
guys. We're doing a new tech thing today, so that the lovely Tess can coach one of you guys live. So yeah, I can't see you people, which is a bit discouraging. I thought the comments would come up, but yeah, we might be able to sort that out later. Um, oh, this is troubling because we can't. Just hold on a second. Can someone message me if by chance they can hear me? If not, we've had a bit of a problem. Um, it's the first time we've done this. Um, oh, okay. Uh-oh, so embarrassing. First time new tech. Oh God. Um, if if there's any clients there, if you could message me on WhatsApp and I'll see.
Oh, here we go. Someone said,
Oh, we've got an answer. Thank
yeah,
you
we've
so.
got some people coming saying they can hear us.
Oh, great. Sorry, guys, this is so embarrassing. It's going to give us the chance to coach one of you on Zoom, which is going to be amazing value. Sorry, where can you see the where can you
I've click on the link I've sent you in Telegram, James. Then you can open the YouTube studio and you can see everyone's comments there.
okay. Former model, 2 degrees, and does tech problem solving for me. A woman. This is so good. Okay. Oh, thank God. You saved my behind. Thank you, guys.
Can you see
That's
that, James?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, perfect.
Test saves me again. This is awesome. Um, okay, here we go. Finally. So yeah, who wants a chance to be coached? If you go to our website, it costs you $1,500, and we're going to try our guts out here, and you get Tess and I coaching you. So yeah, this is really a special thing. So if you would like that chance, then yeah, is that a yes from Simon? That's great. Um, just confirm. Uh, just confirm that's the. Did someone say yes to the coaching? Okay, if anyone wants to be coached, just say coached, age, and occupation. Apologize to anyone. I screwed up the 6, 7 o'clock, so we might not have the crowd we got last time. Hopefully we do. But yeah, if anyone wants that coaching, yeah, I implore you. It's really life changing. Um, okay, we got a stack of good questions last time that I didn't cover for anyone who came to both of them. So what do we start with? And any questions you have, we'll coach someone and answer questions. Any questions you have will be immensely valuable too. Um, so thoughts on how to get out of the friend zone. That's one of the ones we didn't get to do last time. That's pretty straightforward. It's covered quite well in different videos on the YouTube channel. So much of it is about essentially being a man and actually taking the interaction somewhere. So you don't just go on a date and, make out a few times. You don't just go on a date and talk to her for hours and buy her dinner and take her on a second date and a third date and buy her a few things. Um, you really, really need to be a man and actually take some action. So what's involved in that? This is what we discuss a lot in the boot camps. Um, we need to firstly get you to hold better eye contact. When the interaction starts, your eye contact's at a certain level. As the interaction goes on and the conversation gets deeper, you've got to increase your eye contact proportionately. The next thing that you definitely want to be doing is to be introducing touching. That can just start delicately on the shoulder like that. Very, very neutral zone where you're happy to touch your friends, not really sexual at all. And particularly post the whole Me Too era, I'd strongly recommend you do, quite a bit of shoulder touching before you move on to other regions. Other things, if the girl's standing up, the small of her back is a great place to be touching, a fantastic place. And then if she's sitting down, you can initially start touching her on the knee. So yeah, so many guys will go on one date, they'll buy a dinner, go another date, they'll take her to the movies and they'll buy a dinner and take her to the fair or whatever they do, spend a whole bunch of money on her. And then at the end of the third date, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm really enjoying your company, Tess or Julie or whatever your name is. And then they just lunge for a kiss, whereas it's like, it's not like one escalation, it's lots of tiny, 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 tiny micro escalations. Um, and then, yeah, and that involves date planning, which is one of the most poorly understood areas that pretty much many, many, many guys struggle with. So, yeah, that's basically how to get in the friend zone. Use eye contact, escalate touch, escalate body positioning. So when you start out, you might be sitting, you know, with your bodies angled a bit away, so you're not like in each other's face. But then as it gets better, you want to become more and more and more front on and obviously get closer as well. How to get out of the friend zone, just pop your questions through and let me know if anyone wants to be coached. We got some great it's like last time it took, a while to get questions, but once we got one or two good ones, they really, really, really started flowing. Tess is obviously here and she can give you the female perspective, which is incredibly valuable, incredibly valuable. Um, um, for any guys under whatever a certain height, whether that's 5'9" or whatever you want to call it, what's your honest opinion on how heavily height weighs on the initial attraction? Um, Supplementary question: what can tall, short guys do to be more or less attractive? Um, Okay, I'm an honest dating coach, so I'm not going to lie to you and say, "Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just, you'll be fine." Just, it's, women will judge you by your character and, your values and all that. I mean, no, humans make quick decisions and we judge things superficially. So, unfortunately, and you can blame Charles Darwin for sort of discovering this, um, women think if they get a guy who's taller, they're going to have taller kids and they're going to have a more greater chance of survival. Just like if you get a woman who's more beautiful, you can have more beautiful kids and much healthier kids because beauty is basically all about signs of health, and they're going to be they're going to have a much greater chance of survival. So I just managed to stuff my leg up, so I'm just trying to keep it elevated somewhat. Um, so yeah, that's all true. Short guys are at a savage disadvantage in our community, and not just with women, with becoming a CEO, with sales jobs, with so many other things. It really is a discrimination that no one's talking about, even though they're talking about every other form of discrimination you could ever dream in a million years. Um, so yeah, it's tougher, but it's not impossible. It's not impossible at all. In fact, shorter guys, particularly if they can be quite playful, have advantages that a lot of other guys don't. So I'm just getting back to make sure I'm answering the question correctly. Excuse me one second. Where's my notes gone? Um, yeah, so it is an issue being a shorter guy, but it's not definitely not a deal breaker. And you guys have big advantages, particularly if you can mix playfulness with short, being a bit shorter with being a little bit playful. That can really, 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 truly go a long, 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 long way. So how do you do that? The first thing short guys need to do is you need to get dramatically better at touching and escalation. You've got to be the super confident short guy. You really want to go out of your way to dress as well as you can. Because yeah, because something men don't understand this. Women don't understand what attracts men, and men don't understand what attracts women. Men go to the gym and build these amazing bodies. I see them all the time, all across the world, even in Europe these days. They build these amazing, whatever, Brad Pitt Fight Club or, professional football player bodies. And then they put on this horrible pair of patterned board shorts that don't fit them and wear disgusting shoes. And it's like, women couldn't really care about your impressive abs if you dress like that because they see they see the way you dress and they assume whatever. No disrespect to any occupations, but that guy collects garbage. Was to see a guy who collects well, and they think who dresses really well. They go, that guy must be a hedge fund manager, a surgeon. So yeah, you've got to do everything in your power if you are a bit shorter to make up for it. So you want to dress well, but the main thing is you've got to get really, really, really good at touch, eye contact, and body language. You've got to become that killer that killer short man. And the good news is you'll often get away with things, you will get away with things that a lot of taller, particularly more masculine guys just won't get away with women in terms of escalating a bit quicker and that sort of thing. The two greatest, whatever you want to call them in these days, definitely pickup artists, the two greatest womanizers or whatever you want to call them in today's world, the two greatest womanizers I've ever come across in my life. One was 5'5" and the other was 5'6". The guy who was 5'5" was probably bottom quartile attractiveness. I mean, he wasn't attractive. And the guy who was 5'6", he weighed, was it 46 or 48 kilo? And like, I got a nose on me, but this guy had the Roman nose that, entered the building, half an hour before him. But they were, I've never heard of, like seriously heard of any professional dating coach who would touch these guys. They were absolutely relentless. Um, the one thing I'll say in balance is this all happened pre the Me Too movement. They would both be in a bit of trouble if they did that now at some point. Um, so yeah, it is tougher for short guys, but yeah, through Tess and I and Natalia and Jackie and Monique and all the other girls, through a lot of practice with our female coaches, we've had many short guys become absolute killers with women. And the one thing you need to know, whether you're not as attractive as you want, or you think you're the wrong ethnicity, or whatever it is with you, if you have confidence and you have the skills to get better with women, you can pretty much destroy anyone. So it's like some guys, this is a good metaphor for short guys. If you're 5'5" and I don't know, 65 kilos, what's that for the Americans? If there's any American, should be some Americans today. We haven't promoted it to Americans. But yeah, whatever that is in pounds. If you're 65 kilos and and you go to fight against some guy who's 90 kilos, his wall of muscle, he's 6 inches taller than you. Generally speaking, you're not going to have that much chance. It's not going to work out, assuming everything's equally weighted. But what if that short guy is Conor McGregor, or even worse? The Russian guy. My brain's not working. Too much banging going around me. Um, Khabib. How's that guy going to go against some 6'4" muscly guy? He's going to tear him to pieces, absolutely tear him to pieces. So yeah, it is harder. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, it doesn't matter. Another huge resource, huge resource. Actually, is anyone here sort of under, say, 5'8" or something, or is anyone here really concerned about their height? Because yeah, in our world, you're probably better off being 6'2", 6'3", and average looking or below average than being, even sort of 5'10" and very attractive in many cases, because women do gravitate towards the height, but not if you're very, very confident. Awesome. Hopefully that helps you. Got a question from Luke. I'm sick to finish off the Tess, did you have anything you wanted to add to the height question? Just feel to jump in.
Yeah. Oh, have you got me here? Can you guys hear me?
Can you guys see Tess? This is we're losing our YouTube live streamed
Hello.
properly through Zoom virginity. So if anyone can hear, if anyone can see and hear
Okay.
Tess, just
Oh,
say
here
yeah.
we go. I'm coming up. There was just a bit of a delay. I can see myself. Cool. Yeah, I guess yeah, what James is saying is yeah, I completely agree. I think for guys who are shorter, just being really comfortable in your own skin, and that is just confidence. Um, yeah, that just shines through. Like what Stella's saying here, charisma wins over anything else. So if that's, I mean, if you've got true self-esteem, and yeah, just really comfortable in your own skin, that's hugely attractive to women. Same goes for any other weaknesses that you might have. If you're just comfortable with your weaknesses and you can own that, that's great.
Cool. Um, I'm a bit older and I haven't really engaged in popular culture at all. Last time I watched TV, apart from Seinfeld, was when not that those planes flew into 9/11. So don't ask me too much about celebrities unless they showed up in a Scorsese film or a Woody Allen film or something. Oh, you're not meant to say Woody Allen anyway. Sorry about that. He's a genius. Um, yeah. I don't know much about it, so my references can be fairly old. But if you think about guys, sorry, I'm showing my age here. I do serve guys over 35, but if you think of guys like Woody Allen, what's he, 5'5", the most annoying voice ever. I mean, no disrespect, bottom 10% quartile of attractiveness or something. Billy Joel, um, guy's got the arrogance to look like that and sing a song about a Sports Illustrated 7 times swimsuit model cover model. I love you just the way you are, Christy Brinkley. Billy Joel. There's a whole bunch more that I can usually rattle off. Another big one is Salman Rushdie. I mean, if Woody Allen's bottom 10%, Salman Rushdie's bottom 5%. I mean, that guy's had, a list of ex-girlfriends like you can't believe. But if you're very high status and you're very confident, sure, it doesn't go away. I mean, I don't know. But the bassist of the Pogues is one of the most ugly human beings on God's earth. Apparently, he got more than the rest of the band. So there's more examples I can think of. I think I said Salman Rushdie. Um, yeah, those guys were very good at what they do. But if you start looking at their art, I mean, apart from Ingmar Bergman, I don't think any film director, hardly any writer has ever understood women as much as Woody Allen. And Billy Joel's lyrics, I mean, some of it's like how-to dating content. And I mean, Salman Rushdie speaks for himself. That's awesome. So yeah, we've done the short thing well. Again, anyone wants this great chance to be coached by a former model with 2 degrees who's currently my best female coach. That's a hard one to turn down, I think. Um, 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 Okay, Luke's asking good question. Any questions you've got, please send them through. I'm 6'3" and clean cut, particularly on dating apps. Women start their filters at 6 foot. If you're below this, do cold approaches, avoid the apps, fellas. That's a great question, Luke. Thank you. Yeah, a good buddy of mine I play basketball with is 6'6", and yeah, he gets opportunities no one does because there are hot girls who set their filters at 6'4", some even set at 6'6". Um, how do I say this politely? I mean, it's such a common topic that comes up. Um, and I've coached quite a few AI engineers. Um, Dating apps are designed like Vegas slot machines. Uh, just like Google and Facebook and the whole internet is designed like Vegas slot machines by some guy at Stanford who's supposedly a genius who taught this class. Um, they're designed to give you some occasional highs in terms of you match with this person, you match with that person, blah, 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 blah. But they're not designed to fix the problem. Because what happens if you fix the problem and you find a beautiful girlfriend? Can anyone answer that? It's a pretty obvious question. If you find a beautiful girlfriend and they fix the problem, what happens is you stop paying them money. So, are there any very smart software engineers on this? That would be good to know. Because if we go say we're going to create a real dating app, it's actually going to match people with someone who's really suitable, which is easy. Just, top 5 or 6 hobbies and interests, match a few of them. Plus, you could probably do some psychological tests. Be a piece of cake. I mean, I could design the matching service. And I certainly don't have the IQ of many people in Silicon Valley, potentially most. Um, so yeah, it would be a very simple thing to do, and then we can just sell it to Match Group, and we destroy the rest of their apps. Anyway, I'm getting carried away as I often do. So yeah, dating apps are not designed to find you the mother of your children or your wife or a long-term girlfriend. They might do that occasionally, but she's probably not that well set up for you. So if you are shorter, or if you're not that attractive, or if you don't have a Ferrari and a bunch of things to show to girls, then yeah, dating apps have got some of my clients a lot of sex, and we help you look great on them. But I just don't think that's the answer for the love, let alone a healthy relationship. Tess, did you have any thoughts about dating apps?
Yeah, yeah, I think Luke's got a point there with yeah, women setting their filters to 6 foot plus. Yeah, the thing is with dating apps, um, we have seen a lot of our clients have some really good success with them once we optimize their apps because so many guys their profiles are just rubbish. So it can potentially be an okay source for leads, let's call them. But yeah, I think you're right, James. It's yeah, yeah, a lot of them, the big ones, they're just turning into platforms for scamming, etc. So not the most reliable thing nowadays.
Yeah, and if you're a guy who earns, I don't know what the net number is, 80 grand, 100 grand, let alone 150, 200 or more than that. Yeah, I mean, to be spending your time on dating apps when you're looking for love, um, I think what happens is whatever Bumble comes along and to get traction, they launch something that's dramatically better and people flock to it. And then they just go back to what all the others are doing and just do the Vegas slot machine thing. So yeah, you've got to meet them in person. I don't know, just the issue of how do you meet women? How do you meet women? How do you meet women? How do you meet good women, especially in the Western world, without getting too political about this? Um, yeah, I mean, a lot of my clients have pointed out big differences culturally between women in America, Australia, England, these days Western Europe versus other parts of the world. So how do you get a good woman? So much of it is about having the skills because when you have the skills, women know that they come and approach you. Um, and getting wings is very important because that's going to make the whole approaching, getting out there, doing it much, much easier than doing it on your own, as long as these wings are good and they're skilled. And and then once you get a certain level of skill, which often you don't want to hear this, but often involves a bit of time in a bar, being able to practice 10 or 12 times in a night. Once you get to that point, which does not take long with decent training, then you got to do day game. And most importantly, you've got to do day game in places connected to where your hobbies and interests are. So I can't tell you where you're going to meet your dream girl. You've got to figure that out yourself, which really means writing down what's most special to me in the women I've dated and where am I going to find them. So yeah, I talked, I think last time about how the only like Australian girl I'd date for a year unless there was threesomes or something involved or it was good for my ego or business was in a bookstore. Probably similar in America. So yeah, keep your questions coming through. Um, um, and one of the things is any good singles events that you can recommend. Um, I've been to a couple of speed dating events myself. Um, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of women. A couple of them, they tended to be much more expensive ones, but they were like right in the middle of the central business district. But there wasn't a great deal of that attractive. And there's no one who was like, wow, this girl's amazing. Um, so yeah, we've never really had clients get a lot of success there, but we've certainly had clients you know, we'll send a guy, we'll get a guy in the boot camp, and we'll recommend a whole bunch of stuff. You'll get training with Tess and Natalia and all that on Zoom. And then one of the things we do recommend is, okay, to take what you're getting very close to practically on Zoom with these beautiful girls who are expert coaches, to take that and really get some reps up, just go speed dating. So yeah, it can be a great place to practice. I've never heard of any client marrying someone they met speed dating, blah 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 blah. Tess, did you have any sort of feedback about any singles events that you experienced in your younger days or your girlfriends have or anything like that?
Um, no, I mean I've been to a couple of speed dating events and yeah, sort of mixed reviews. I think definitely a great place to be practicing conversation skills. Um, everyone's there for the same reason, so no one's going to have a barrier up. It's not like doing cold approaches. It's a very implied social situation, so that makes it a lot easier. Um, so yeah, a really safe place to practice skills. Yeah, as far as singles events goes, actually, a few of our clients that I'm currently working with are going to those events, and I've yeah, they've had some good success actually. Yeah, a couple of guys are dating people regularly that I'm aware of. So yeah, you never know. It is taking a bit of a stab in the dark. The only thing you know you have in common is being single. But so yeah, obviously, I think the best place to meet a woman that's going to be like-minded is somewhere like a club or event or where you know there are going to be people who have similar interests. For example, if you're into yoga, going to a day yoga retreat or something. Or yeah, if you're into dancing, go to salsa classes. Yeah, or whatever it is for you.
That's a great point. Um, Yeah, I mean, I went to a yoga studio, an ashram, like a really nice restaurant, do massage. It's just beautifully set. Um, and yeah, I'm well over the promiscuous part of my life at the moment. Um, Having done that pretty well, and you can waste a lot of time. But yeah, if I had been, I mean, just by being a guy there who's legitimately interested in yoga, who's got just a little bit of social skills, who's not wearing some Shiva t-shirt, like I'm spiritual, you should sleep with me. I don't have much else going, but I'm spiritual. Look at my what do you call it? Mala beads. Just by being a normal guy at one of those events, I mean, women are just like really attractive women that I would need to fight for in a bar or something, or fight for if I went up and talked to them just random day game in many places. They're just throwing themselves at me just because I'm there. And I've been in cafe bookstores and other examples like cool, funky cocktail places. Um, so yeah, just go where the women are. Don't go to the nightclubs, because the women just go there for attention. Generally don't go online. Having said that, I mean, my clients have had a very impressive roster of women by going online and doing it properly. But yeah, in terms of love of your life, I haven't heard many comments about that. And I tend to meet guys who aren't my clients who say they're really happy with the person they met. Then I ask them a few very delicate questions. I'm like, oh, I don't think you are. What was it? So yeah, keep your questions coming through. And if anyone wants a $1,500 worth of coaching, please jump on. Love your comment, Stella. Love your comment, Stella. Short guys are cuties, charisma and humor wins over anything else, though. Um, yeah, and having said that, obviously I've dated quite a few, but I've employed 50 models over the years. Um, and when you sort of track them forward, particularly as they get into their late 20s, I mean, one of the ones who would be considered by most of the guys the most beautiful, not all, but most, um, yeah, she ended up with a guy who's 5'6". Um, and she's really happy, really happy. And I mean, I know one of her main guys was 6'4" or 6'5". So yeah, I mean, she's taller than him, I think. So yeah, there's a lot of cases. I didn't round out my point on Salman Rushdie, Woody Allen, etc. But yeah, I mean, those guys dated the greatest girls in the world, and the common response I get to that is, "Oh yeah, but they're famous." I said, yeah, but they're taking like Frank's girls who used to date Frank Sinatra. There's been a more attractive man in history than that, or Warren Beatty or something. Sorry, my references are very old. Tess, do you have any updated short guys killer references?
Yeah. Um, I mean, my brother's pretty short and he does pretty well.
Maybe because
You
it's
guys
your
would
brother,
know.
but oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I've had
He's
a
a
bit
good
of a rough
guy.
time with different things. Do you have any modern celebrities who are short who do really, really, really
Um,
well?
Unfortunately, I don't subscribe to a lot of popular culture, so not the best person to ask for this one, James.
I hire this beautiful woman flies. She's a paraglider, literally a paraglider, and she surfs and everything else. And she's a model in 2 degrees. So yeah, I don't hire the popular culture girls who are on Instagram the whole time that much. Um, okay. Loving the questions. Luke's asking some special ones. Luke, what are your thoughts on workplace relationships in corporate environments in the era we live in now? Um, That is a fantastic question, Luke. Okay, I got to organize myself better. We need to have some sort of question for the guy with the best some sort of prize for the guy with the best question, and also the guy with the smartest, funniest comment. We had some rippers last time because I was talking about I was talking about my favorite comedian, and one guy wins by a long, long way. And I probably gave him my top four. I said, I don't know who number five is. It's really hard. There's so many could be five, but I was pretty sure about the top four. And then someone said Donald Trump, and I said, yeah, I don't agree with everything Trump's going. I'm not like a hardcore Trumper or whatever they call him. I like some of it. I don't like all of it. Definitely don't like all of it. Tariffs and a bunch of other stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, he could be in the top five. So yeah, that would have won last time. But yeah, any great questions, any really clever comments that make the host giggle, awesome. I think we're lucky to have a woman on with us tonight. Thank you for coming along. I've been single 5 years, never been on a dating app or speed dating or dated anyone at all. But I've joined the topic tonight and enjoy and found someone. Oh, that's a great tip. That's a fantastic tip. Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
so many people who on some forum or some Facebook group who have some sort of common interest. Excuse this lack of professionalism. I can't walk. I'm on crutches and wheelchair, so I'm moving around like whatever. I've got ants in my pants. So, yeah, I just can't highlight enough areas of mutual interest. Areas of mutual interest. Okay, you got to have the skills first, but areas of unfortunately, men require skills unless you are 6'4" and a hedge fund manager and have a Ferrari and a Lamborghini and a Bugatti or whatever. But those guys might not have skill, but they end up with the most toxic women who make Amber Heard look like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. So yeah, go places where the people where it's easy for guys. Um, okay, there's some good questions coming through. Um,
I think, um, James, you kind of went astray off the Luke's question about relationships in corporate environment.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I shouldn't keep saying this. I haven't had the best time recently, so I really appreciate you keeping on track. So yeah, Luke, um, yeah, if you work in a bar or you're picking blueberries on Byron Bay or something, go for it, man. I'd advise you do as much as you possibly can. I mean, you might get fired from a bar or something. Me too might compromise that. I got fired for a bar for sleeping with too many of the barmaids and staff. I think you could do with a tiny bit of poverty if you're a young guy for that. Um, but yeah, seriously, corporate environment, there's potentially degrees behind you. There's years of your life. There's hours and hours and hours of slaving away, 40, 50 hours a week, sacrificing so many other parts of your life, critical relationships you've built up. Um, I don't know. I just think it's a big no-no. Unless you're sort of independently wealthy and you enjoy working and you know what the hell I really like her. Um, I did make a video about it that you can see on the YouTube channel. If actually, Tess, if you could just go on to Social Coach video and find how to date girls at work. It's myself and Natalia. I think she's wearing red. I'm probably in a suit on the thumbnail, and link that below. That's going to give you a really comprehensive answer. Um, so yeah, just don't do it. Just don't do it. And don't do it. And the only situation I would ever do that
In
the
the
only
college setting,
situation
this is your first time.
I would ever do that in is if you thought this could be my wife. Don't worry about wife. This could be the mother of your children. And yeah, this is a very sad thing that's happened to the world, a profoundly sad thing, this whole, you know, political correctness extreme. I don't want to say Me Too is a bad thing, because maybe for the first year it was a very good thing. Maybe the first 18 months, I'm not a Me Too historian, but it just became crazy after that. I worked in a large bank where men who were in management positions behaved atrociously. And the only women who ever got into management were the women who slept with the guys who are the managers of the bank. And those women went on and did enormous amounts of damage to everyone and everything and customers and political games and manipulation. So yeah, early Me Too, as in clamping down on abuse of power, I was very big on that. Sorry, I'm getting carried away. But yeah, in terms of the workplace today, it's just suicide, man. It's just suicide. I just would not do that. But if you're going to do that, if you are going to do that, and I would only ever do it in the case of someone you're very confident is going to be your wife, or the mother of your children, this is how you do it. Before I say that, um, I think they've done a serious disservice to humanity by making workplace relationships so problematic, so dangerous, so life and career ending that men need to have another person sitting there to have a meeting with a female staff member, and a lot of males just won't mentor a woman because it's like just not worth the risk, even though they might feel good about it for reason other than sex. Um, because yeah, if you look at, I've researched this, I should have done a post about it, but if you look at the percentage of marriages I think probably kids as well, that came out of workplace relationships 20 or 30 years ago. It was huge, particularly amongst professionals who, might really enjoy dating someone with a lot of similar interests, given you might spend 50 or 60 hours of your life working, and also someone who's really smart. So yeah, it's a tragedy, I think, the way this movement's got so extreme for men and women. It might be protecting a very small percentage of women who are in horrible situations, but the overall damage, I shouldn't comment on this publicly, but there's a huge amount of damage as well with the extremes of it. Um, so yeah, if you are going to do it, you need to do it very, very carefully. I teach a lot about touch. You just got to leave that out because it's very hard to tell some HR department that, he held my eye contact too long. That's a slightly difficult thing to prove and to establish without extensive video cameras. But if you touch her on the shoulder, let alone somewhere more personal than that, that's a documentable incident that happened. So you just got to do it with eye contact. So if you really do like a girl, if you really do like a girl, you might start by, I don't know, say you're normally holding 40, 50% eye contact with your female colleagues. You might want to sort of do 50 for a while, and then maybe do 60 for a while, or maybe even 65, 55, then 65. And this should just happen over weeks. And then you can introduce open-ended questions like, oh, so tell me about your weekend, Tess. What'd you get up to? And then you could, I mean, it sounds gay, but the amount of sex it's got me in good corporate connections, I don't see any more because I'm, I'm anyway. You meet a girl you really like, or there's a girl at work, you know her name. You just start a little thing in your notes folder or however you keep Evernote, whatever you use, and just go, oh, Tess, um, loves paragliding, surfer, 2 degrees. One was in Chinese medicine. And yeah, just a bunch of stuff about her favorite book, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I keep that. And then I've got that talking points the next time I talk to her. So you can increase the eye contact and then have a very civil, polite, non-sexual, non-flirty workplace relationship about her hobbies, interests, and what she did in the weekend. Then you can establish some commonalities outside of work. And then from there, it's just a case of ramping up the eye contact, very, very gradually. Um, and then, yeah, you can watch the rest of the video if you want to get a bit more of if you want to get a bit more of an insight into that. But yeah, got to handle very, very carefully. Tess, what do you think about that? I'm not sure if you've ever worked in the corporate world, but yeah, you've definitely had a bunch of different jobs. What's your thoughts on that matter?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with everything you're saying, James. And yeah, considering the amount of time that a person, the percentage of their life that they spend at work, I think it is probably still quite common that relationships come out of workplaces. It's just, yeah, it is just tricky. I pretty much, yeah, I just agree with everything you said.
Fantastic. Okay, questions. How long have we been going? I've been told you meant to keep these to about 50 to 60 minutes and save it for next time.
We're at 39 seconds. Oh, sorry, 39 minutes and 25 seconds.
Okay, we'll do a few more. Um, Again, anyone want the coaching? I can't, that's what we advertised. I can't highlight it enough. You're getting $1,500 worth of value. It'll be gone soon. Yeah, cost you $1,500 outside of this. We said when we promoted it, it would be brutal. It's not going to be brutal. It's just going to be honest. But you'd probably click on an email with brutal far before you click on an email with honest. Um, Someone's asked about, are there any Bali boot camps in the pipeline? Yeah, that's something I'm working on now. Um, and there'll be a lot more infield time than the Australian boot camps. Next Australian boot camp is late September, for anyone who's interested. Um, and oh, good question. You said you're looking for a partner yourself. Where would you go? It sort of comes back to get the skills, do some time in bars with a wing, do some day game, and then you've got two things. You either go net time, just walking around, sort of just living your life, or you go to hobbies and interests. So me, I just walk into a bookstore, to be honest. That's it. If not something connected to travel, distant third would be something connected to yoga. Oh, great question here. Um, uh, is it best to work on my health and fitness and maybe lose weight first and be someone I want to date before I try to get good with women? This is a fantastic question. Um, for most men, if you're not morbidly obese or it's not affecting your erectile function or something, the answer is probably no. It's again, men want women who are beautiful, with whatever the boobs and the hip to waist ratio and the long legs and all the swimsuit model stuff. And we think that's what women want. They want they want a guy with an amazing Brad Pitt Fight Club body. I'm not saying women don't value that, but it's way down their list. Particularly once they get into their 20s, they'll learn a bit older than that. Um, so and they think, oh man, I gotta look like Brad Pitt before I go approach a girl. No, that's just stupid. The other side of that is that women want status. So they want status long before they want abs, nearly all of them. And then so what they do is they spend all their time dressing up and they don't worry that much about health. Whereas men worry about their body and don't spend that much time dressing up. So we none of us know what we're doing. Um, so yeah, I've coached guys who are like fat, like properly fat, big stomachs and double chins to be absolute monsters with women. You just got to dress carefully. So if you're a bit overweight, then just wear a black or navy blue shirt that sort of hides any of the bulges and go to a tailor and just get a really nice one. So yeah, unless you're morbidly obese or it's really you're wheezing the whole time when you're trying to talk to a girl, I would go straight to what it is you want. So yeah, just get the skills to get better with women before you start stuffing around with all that stuff. Um, so yeah, anything you want to add on that point, Tess?
Yeah, no, again, I just agree with you, James. Women are a lot less superficial than you might think. Yeah, so it really comes down to confidence, masculinity, yeah, charisma. Which yeah, a lot of that is a skill set that you can learn. So yeah, James is right. We're not necessarily looking at your bodies. In fact, on dating apps, guys who take shirtless selfies is probably the most cringeworthy thing you can do. So yeah, I agree with James.
That's a really good point. Talk more about that because that's very counterintuitive to the male mind.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's in terms of optimizing dating apps, we say you want to create a full picture of what your life is like, what your hobbies and interests are, um, but also come across as an attractive, happy person. So when you're just pouting and taking selfies, um, what sort of image does that portray? It's someone who's maybe a bit self-obsessed and doesn't have anything better to do than just go to the gym, which is not very attractive to women. Um, yeah, it's quite one-dimensional. So yeah, you definitely want to avoid that.
That's a great point. One of my female coaches, Val, who's a Russian model, her and Jackie always have quite interesting debates. They're both pretty smart. Um, Jackie, who comes from extraordinary privilege, so trust fund kid, she's like, she wants the guy with the abs, the hot guy, which is very unusual for women. Um, whereas Val, if she sees a hot guy, she's not interested. If she sees a guy who's got, perfect biceps and great abs, she's like turned off. She goes, no, no, I want someone business minded. He spend all time in gym, no time making money, getting status for me. So yeah, it's a turn off. And while we're on that point, I started my journey with women very late in life. I had this tiny little sexual experience when I was 27. It was one of the most embarrassing things you can ever imagine. I might as well tell you guys, actually. Um, and then at age 31, I had sex the second time ever, ever. It wasn't like I lost my virginity and I didn't have any more for 4.5 years, even though I made quite a lot of money in that time. So I lost my virginity. And what happened was, um, the girl I had my second sexual experience with, who was, I don't want to be rude, like a three, 3.5. She had some pretty blue eyes, but that was really the end of her attractive features. It wasn't great, but I just had to do something, and she seemed interested, and we did have a lot in common. It turned to be a really wonderful experience. Um, and yeah, but she said that, oh, yeah, the reason I stuffed you around at the start was that I saw your body because I was playing a lot of basketball then and cricket and you know, did a little bit of boxing, even though I wasn't very good at it. I had a really good body. But yeah, she was so intimidated by it. Then I heard that feedback from a bunch of, and I'd heard that feedback from a bunch of other women soon. Girls will think they need to be a sort of a model to keep up with you. I'm not that anymore. So yeah, a lot of guys put so much time into their body and they're neglecting the most important thing, which is their social skills and their style. Um, I said something and forgot about it. Okay, who wants to hear the story of how I lost my virginity, the true story? Can I get some love on that? There's qu still quite a few guys here. Quite a few, but no, they're a shy bunch. Anyone want to hear the how I lost my virginity story? Still a fine line between confidence and cringe, charisma and creepy. Pheromones also real. Actually, Stella will win the best comment prize. Um, she's actually asked a good question that's incredibly useful to guys. I don't know whether I should say this publicly, but yeah, if you're healthy, and we help you get healthy, if you're healthy, I strongly recommend you don't use aftershave or deodorant or anything like that. You can use some mineral-based salt one, sea salt one. Um, and the French know this, and many Europeans know this. Um, Say I'm attracted to a woman, we've got, we see the body and we see the eyes, and there's obviously stuff in common, whatever is happening there. But there's a huge amount we have no conscious awareness of. Um, and that's our smell telling us stuff about their immunity and their complementary immunity to us. So you will be massively attracted, whether you realize it or not, to a girl where you can smell her pheromones or whatever they're called. And she's I've got my hands flying over on the screen, so it's a bit distracting. I need to learn how to turn that down. So you're massively attracted to this girl far more than you would be normally, but it's because your pheromones are saying, oh, we've got complementary immune systems, so we're going to produce healthier kids. Again, you got to learn about Charles Darwin. So yeah, this idea you're putting on aftershave, and I won't say it publicly, but yeah, there's been some pretty horrible lawsuits that have happened to the aftershave companies about damage to health. Because yeah, it's not some French guy with a big nose like me who's very healthy, sniffing flowers in some beautiful little village in Paris, creating the perfume. It's just mass manufactured from chemicals. I'm not going to speculate what, but it's probably not stuff you want to smell all the time. Um, but yeah, I mean, some of them do smell quite nice. I'm not disputing that. But yeah, if I date girls, first thing I say is just don't wear that. I don't want to smell it. It's awful. So yeah, if you can get healthy enough, and we can help you a lot with that too, um, just don't wear that stuff. Just let pr um, project your natural immunity, your immune system to the women you want to attract. And some of them won't like that, but many of them will, which is, if you think you're a seven, it might turn you into an eight and a half. If you think you're a nine, it might turn you into a 10 or more. Yeah, I'm nearly 54 and you can see this. And yeah, I won't say publicly, but yeah, it's, the 20s and even the early 20s is definitely not out of reach to me. And I think part of that is the fact that women smell something they really like. Plus, you'd hope I'm pretty confident in this area. Um, um, got a woman's opinion here too. Tess, did you have any opinions about that? Guys you've dated who
Yeah.
have to shave and stuff versus
Yeah.
not?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely agree with what you're saying there, James. I've got to say, for me particularly, I'm quite sensitive to smell. I think that women are generally more sensitive to smell than men, generally speaking. So, yeah, I've got to say, a guy who's perceivably a nine, if they've got strong aftershave on, to me, makes them like a three. Because I just can't handle it. Like I get headaches from aftershaves, colognes. So yeah, for me, absolutely, it's just a no-go. But yeah, if you think about that, if you're wearing some strong cologne or perfume, and considering how picky women are with smells and what they like, if you're potentially cutting out a huge portion of women just straight away, if they don't like the way you smell. Um, so the best smell to have is just no smell, just to be clean. Yeah, or like I think Stella mentioned, some subtle, essential oils or something, is not too bad. But yeah, any of those strong colognes, aftershaves is yeah, just not good. Um, yeah, that's what I think.
That's great. Yeah, just full disclosure, Tess and I are both, I don't know, hippie in a pejorative sense, but Tess and I are both in the more natural lifestyle thing. It'd be interesting to ask a bunch of girls, but yeah, generally just don't do it. You got to be healthy first. If you stink, then, you might need to do something about that, but there's much healthier alternatives than whatever you buy at some department store, let alone some cheap store. Yeah, that is really, really big. There may be other girls who've got different opinions, but I'm just really not sure about that. I remember, again, I'm showing my age here. Christy Turlington, probably one of the most, whatever, in terms of supermodels I'd have been attracted to, she was one of the more ones. She was the, whatever, Calvin Klein cover girl, whatever, most high paid model in the country at that, in the world at that point, potentially. Um, and she goes on David Letterman and she talks about this campaign she did, and I think she might have been with her husband, who was at one stage quite a famous film director, and they were doing these sexy shots together. And yeah, I don't think she's a dumb model. As far as models go, she's pretty smart. But Dave Letterman said, what do you think of the fragrance? And Christy Turlington, if that's the correct name, turned around and said, "Oh, I don't wear it. It's too strong for me. I don't like it at all." She wasn't briefed well by the PR people there. So yeah, even the beautiful girl on the cover who you think you're going to get once you're wearing that, some of them aren't really that into it much either. Um, I might as well give you guys a bit of entertainment as well as all the dry stuff. Um, yeah, Stella's saying BO is a huge turn off. Yeah, it's very important to understand that women have much higher smell than men. I think it's to do with having kids is a huge part of it. It's probably possibly also to do with danger. And sorry, the women's libbers are going to murder me on this, but yeah, they're traditionally the food preparers. So you want the person preparing the food to be a bit more aware of what's going off, particularly in what's humanity? Humanity in its current form, at least according to Germs, Guns, and Steel, is about 50,000 years old. So apart from when did feminism really kick in? Mid 80s, started in the mid 70s. So the other 50,000 years of human evolution, women were the primary food preparers. So maybe their smell is part of that. Not that we changed that much in 50,000 years. So yeah, how did this old man lose his virginity at 27? It was a fluke. Um, I a friend of mine, a good friend of mine, who was quite successful in finance, he had a girl fly from Melbourne, one of the half dozen girls he was bonking at that time. He had a girl he was having sex with fly to Perth. I lived in Perth for a holiday around New Year's, and she brought a friend with her who was, she had a really beautiful face. Um, and nice enough body. I mean, for me as a virgin, it was like all my Christmases came at once. Um, and yeah, for some reason she liked me. I think it might have been because she was literally sleeping on a few blankets at my friend's house because he had daughters with him and his girl had the bed and blah 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 blah. And I had this quite nice inner city apartment, a cool suburb with a queen size bed. So anyway, for whatever reason, she shows interest in me. At that stage, I was moderately successful. Nothing special. And yeah, it takes me about 3 or 4 or 5 goes. And yeah, she's throwing signs at me, asking if I've got condoms, jumping out the car and following me around. And Pete and everyone's egging me on to actually do something. I was so terrified. I'd never done it before. And and yeah, it was pretty terrifying terrifying thing for me when you leave it that late. So anyway, I do it, and then finally and we were having, hours of foreplay, which is really, really enjoyable. But my little thing, it would never sort of get past there, if you can see. It's just never got that much wood, never got that much wood. I didn't know the trick we teach our clients to advanced sex tips. If you're having trouble with the wood, squeeze the base really hard, and that pushes whatever blood's in it to the end, and then you can stick that thing in. Advanced sex techniques on YouTube. Hopefully, I won't get banned. So anyway, I didn't know that trick, so I'm just lying, and she's on top, and I'm just like praying to God, please make this thing work. Please make this thing work. Please make this thing work. For the fourth night in a row, we have hours of foreplay. She's hoping this big, hunky 27-year-old guy. I was skinny, but I had massive shoulders and I could dunk a basketball effortlessly and a few other things. Um, and yeah, eventually night four, I get this tiny, 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 tiny bit of wood, and she's like, "Oh, that's my opportunity." So she jumps on, and she's fairly experienced, certainly compared to me. And she jumps on, and she does a little trick, and she's the one who grabs the base really, really hard, and then somehow she gets the vagina onto my penis for the first time in my entire life. It's happening, and I'm all happy. I'm all happy. I'm like, oh, I've lost it. I've lost it. I lost it. I can stop lying to people about this girlfriend I had, you know, in a fictional life, my whatever, my imaginary girlfriend. Um, anyway, I got in there. I don't know what time went past. It might have been a minute 30. It might have been 2 minutes. It can't be more than 2.5 minutes. And I'm like, oh, and I sort of stopped being happy that I lost my virginity. I looked up and there was by my standards at that time, pretty nice set of breasts in front of me. So I reached out and grabbed a nipple. And as soon as my finger just hit the whatever the first roll, what you call it? I don't know the names. The first touch of nipple, I come. And it was over. And she had this look of disappointment on her face, like, "Oh, I really like this guy. He's so sweet. We've had this great holiday romance." But all she got was 90 seconds or 2 minutes. So yeah, I didn't care. I got there. It was a bit humiliating, but at least I got it. Thank you, Aurelia. I'm so tired now. It's not going to work. So hopefully someone got a bit of a laugh out of that. But yeah, that's the truth. So I got to where that was me at 31, but then doing what my somebody who helped my life a lot, Tony Robbins said. He was the one who took me from a very poor growing up in working class Perth, around a bunch of people who talk like this, mate. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With the Manara and stuff and carton of beers and stuff. Um, he's the one that took me from a pretty shitty public school. I don't think anyone really succeeded at much to to getting recruited in finance and then actually going on to be essentially financially independent at 31. Um, so and be able to travel for the rest of my 30s. So yeah, I'm very grateful to him. So I turned back to him to help the fact that I was 31 and I was essentially still a virgin, even though I was making incredible money. For any of the guys on this who have a lot of money, but they don't have the girl thing handling, it'd be nice to make 70 or 80 grand a year, but beyond that, you really are wanking if you're delaying it to make more money. Just like if you're carrying 3 or 4 extra kilos, you're really sort of joking yourself if you think that's stopping you. Um, So yeah, and what he told me was if you want to get good at something, find someone who's achieved the results you want, copy what they do, and you'll achieve the same results. It's not quite that simple, but it's close. You just got to find mentors and role models and coaches and find good coaches, which is really, really hard. Anyway, it's so sad no one wants to take the opportunity to to go with
I
Tess.
think, James, it looks like there are a few people who just jumped on recently. So we might just ask
Oh God.
again. Yeah, I think because of that timing issue, some people have jumped on at 7.
Oh, okay. I mean, Tess. Anyway, um, we've had a bunch of new people because I was an idiot. I better go longer, actually. I was getting hungry. I better go longer because we've really screwed some people around. Um, there's been four or five at least jump on at 7. Thank you to Tess. If anyone's got any questions, we're sort of starting again with people who are misinformed about the times. This is just our second one, and my gun tech girl, who I think's here. Um, I'm going to get in trouble for sexism here. Yes, I found a woman who's really good at tech. No bullshit. Um, leave her alone. She's mine. Um, yeah. So if anyone's just come on in the last few minutes, and they want to be coached, jump in. I've got my star female coach here. We sell this for $1,500. $1,500. And if anyone's got any questions, just fire away. Um, Oh, that's really sweet, Stella. Thank you so much. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, shoot them through. If not, we may wrap up kind of quickly. Um, we might just go into mistakes on a date, which is one of the common questions. Um, I'm not going to go into it today because I've been told to keep YouTube lives not too much over an hour, unless you've got hundreds and hundreds of people on there. But yeah. What are the common mistakes guys are making on dates? Uh, the biggest one is not doing something. Actually, we might throw it over to someone many of you'd probably like to date. What are some of the mistakes that you see guys making on dates the most?
Yeah, I guess not taking the leadership role. So just asking the woman, "Oh, what do you like doing? What do you want to do? Where would you like to go?" Which just makes it not a very relaxing experience for the woman. So you definitely want to take the opportunity on a date to be the leader, make the suggestions, yeah, take that more masculine role so she can just relax and enjoy her time. What are some of the other mistakes? I guess also, yeah, you've got to get that the balance between escalating and building authentic connection, right? If you're escalating too quickly on a date and not building authentic connection, you just come across as sleazy, and the woman will probably start to have some barriers that she puts up. And it's hard to come back from that if you push too far. Um, and yeah, and then on the other hand, if you're focusing too heavily on the authentic connection and not enough on escalating, then you can kind of get friend zoned. And yeah, same thing. If you establish that for too long, it's really hard to break out of as well. So it is just finding that balance. What are some other mistakes guys make on dates? Basically just not being prepared. Date planning is really, really important. You need to be yeah, you need to keep it interesting. Sitting sitting in a restaurant for 3 hours and, just letting the conversation go stale and her by the end of it being like, wow, gosh, feels like it's been 5 hours is not a great place to leave her. So, it's best to keep things moving, keep it dynamic and also have a plan B. If the place you're planning on going is closed or it hasn't got a good vibe on the night you're supposed to go there, or the weather's bad, you've always got to be able to work around that and not just be left hanging and trying to work out something that ends up being a dud. So yeah, those are some of the big ones. James, anything else that you can think of? Um,
That's excellent. That's excellent. Stella's chimed in, learn to read the room, which is very, very true. Something most guys really suck at. There's a whole list. Not escalating, not asking open-ended questions, not preparing for it. If you're spending your time on apps or meeting girls or approaching, and you don't have a really comprehensive date plan, like a really comprehensive date plan with contingencies in place, I mean, you're just wasting so much time and you're missing the best opportunities. Um, there's a much, much more active audience last time, even though this one's, stayed reasonable levels. Does anyone have any? Okay, firstly, does anyone have any questions for this lovely woman who's a former model, who's my top coach, who's, when boot camps come and the guys have worked with her on Zoom a whole bunch of times. I mean, it's like a teenage girl meeting Taylor Swift or something. They absolutely love her. It's insane. This girl changed my life. This girl changed my life. So yeah, and she's obviously, an attractive woman and has been for 10, 15 years, or more. She's a lot older than she looks. Can I say that about a woman? Or is that going to get me in jail these days?
Yeah, I'd say that's a compliment.
It is, but I could have maybe delivered it more articulately. So
It's okay, Jane.
she's a lot older than she looks. Anyway, she's way young. She looks way younger than she really is. I'm sure I could have done that better. Um, so yeah, any questions for Tess? Uh, yeah, I don't know. I've got the crowd that doesn't ask questions. Um, and also, how many of you have heard of date planning? How many of you have a comprehensive date plan? For any of you who understand, I don't know, a sales funnel where you got to find the prospect, you've got to actually, we can ask Tess that question. Where you got to find the prospect, you've got to put them through some process to sort of warm them up and get them attracted. Then you got to put them through some process to close them. You got to have that for dating. You got to have that for dating. I've coached gun salesmen who never thought of the idea, or gun marketers who never thought of the idea of having a funnel or a pipeline for dating. So you just got to do that. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. I
Mm.
mean,
Yeah.
stories. Actually, if you guys are getting value out of this, shoot through any questions for Tess, that are coming. Um, actually, we'll leave my story for later. Tess, do you instantly compartmentalize men when you meet them, e.g., friend zone, husband, casual sex? Be honest. Uh, would like your point of view. Well, Luke,
Yeah.
that's the best question of the night. So, many congratulations. We've got to come up with a way to give him some sort of prize. Um, over to you, Tess.
Yeah, great question, Luke. Um, no, it's not necessarily instant. But in saying that, first impressions are huge. They're huge. If you are able to build strong sexual tension with someone straight off the bat, yes, you're automatically putting yourself not in the friend zone. You kind of have to make a few mistakes after that, to then get friend zoned. Um, so yeah, first impressions are worth a lot. Yeah, in saying that as well, I've um, been in relationships with people I've have been friends with for a long time, but there was always a level of yeah, sexual tension there the whole time. So it was a bit flirty, it wasn't just friends. So yeah, I think yeah, to answer your question, first impressions are so important. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the be all or end all, though.
That's an excellent answer. I might just elaborate on that. Um, Hope this doesn't sound too self-promoting. I was a former, uh, 3 degrees, mainly in finance, largely finance economics. And my first job was a financial analyst, which basically meant looking at company reports and basically writing a spreadsheet. So that's what I do. I'm probably not quite engineer level analytical, but I'm close. My father's an engineer, and pretty much one of the interesting metrics with me is pretty much every girl who's been significant in my life, her father, like the top 6 women in my life, or at least 5 of the 6, their fathers literally had a PhD in engineering or computer science. So I'm a very analytical guy. I tend to go for the daughters of um, software engineers or something with PhDs. Um, so yeah, anything that comes out, and I'm a bit verbose today because I'm a bit down on sleep and had a bit of a hard time. Um, so anything that comes out of my mouth is this highly analytical guy who struggled with this more than just about anyone you've ever met. Um, is this highly analytical guy who's basically synthesizing the views of all his girlfriends, all the sort of which has been quite a few and a lot of really high quality ones in intelligence as well as beauty. Um, synthesizing them, synthesizing a bunch of African Americans or Brazilians or Croatian guys I actually learnt from when I sucked before we had good dating coaches. And then potentially most importantly, the views of 50 models. So I've worked with women like Tess up close for 19 years, where we have this long 45-hour experience where we coach them in the classroom, we take them out to bars and bookstores and streets and whatever else. And then the girls basically go on proper dates with them on the Sunday. And then at the end, the girls sit down with me and they give me all their feedback about what he did right, what he did wrong, what did he do to improve, did he have bad breath, did he have hair growing out his ear or his nose. Um, and a whole bunch of other stuff, like little tiny things they do, like a lot of really attractive guys who are rich, who are quite masculine, who aren't very confident with women, who are needy women. A lot of women just hate them, the hot ones. There's a whole bunch of stuff like this. The thing that comes out of my mouth is basically the woman's point of view synthesized from, you know, a lot of really hot girls, some of which I dated, some of which became love of my life, some of my dear girlfriends I'm still in touch with. And I also formed, quite real friendships with many of the female coaches and had dinner with them a bunch of times and that sort of thing. Just to be fair, Jackie was very, very special in terms of her contribution to social coach, particularly our advanced stuff, the social coach. So the question from Luke. We've had a whole string come through. All the question answers have come later. Looks like I'm going to have to wait another bit before I get dinner. Um, do you instantly compartmentalize men when you meet them, e.g., friend zone, husband, casual sex? Be honest. Would you like to hear your point of view? I'll give you what's a synthesized view of a bunch of different women. Okay, you're going to have to check in with them at very different parts of their life because when a girl's 18 or 22 and she's grown up with Taylor Swift music and blah 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 blah, yeah, a lot of them are looking for some hot guy to have a steamy night with, whatever. These are the outreaches of feminism, and Madonna started it in droves in the 80s. Um, so they do, but as they get older, particularly like really attractive girls like Tess, um, um, they've done that. They've done they've done whatever the football player or the super confident kickboxing hedge fund guy or whatever. They've done like the exciting travel guy or the rock star. They've done that before. In many cases, particularly if they're very rich and successful, in many cases, these guys did not make them happy for very long, even though they got a lot of status out of it. And they're looking for something much more real. So yeah, do you compartmentalize? I'm not talking about Tess because I didn't know her when she was 22. But yeah, she may have given you a very, very different answer to that question at 22 or 19 than she would at her current stage in life. So when a girl's younger, um, she will be seeking more of the fun, casual, short-term thing, particularly these days. Um, in terms of a younger girl thinking husband in our culture, I think if she's somewhat educated, that would be kind of rare. But certainly as women, I'm going to get in trouble here. Women have a peak in their beauty. I'm not going to speculate on what age that is and get hung in the center of the Pitt Street Mall in Sydney or something. But women clearly have a peak of beauty, and their reaction to men and the way they look at dating changes massively from when they're a little bit off it to when they're a little bit over it and a long way over it, particularly if they're a very attractive woman. So once they start getting close to that, or certainly once they get past it, a lot of the women are really compartmentalizing men as in the friend zone. So like most guys, they're just not considering them because they don't see them as husband material, which is really brutal on a lot of men, particularly with dating apps, which is horrible because they get rid of all the guys who are under 6 foot, 6'4" or something. So yeah, great question for Tess. Thank you for asking it, Luke. Um, but there would be as big differences between the age of a girl, probably bigger than lots and lots of different girls. There are going to be some girls because of their sort of partying parents or how much Taylor Swift music they've listened to, or, I mean, whatever. Girls who had some not nice things happen to them when they were younger. I believe there's a correlation between promiscuity and mental illness. Um, Girls who are sort of less attractive and struggling to get it, particularly from decent guys, will often take it whenever they get a chance. These are grotesque generalizations that do not apply across whole population sizes. So yeah, but yeah, that's a very interesting question. Do women instantly compartmentalize men they meet, friend zone, that sort of thing? Um, it's Good question from W. Erica. Um, is it true you should always go for a kiss on a date? Tess, I'll throw that to you.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, good question. No. So basically, on a date, the right time to kiss a woman is when she wants you to kiss her. So if she's not ready for you to kiss her and you're going in for the kiss, you're going to be pushing her away. If you have built up a good amount of sexual tension and she's like, when's this guy going to kiss me? Because I really want him to. That is a great time to kiss her. Yeah, if you want that to escalate beyond the kiss, the best time to do that would be in a place that's private. So yeah, that's the short answer.
I'll just throw my little 2 cents there. Yeah, you definitely don't kiss her before she's ready, and that's where reading signals is one of the mission critical skills. I mean, you know, that's not a 1 hour online class. That's a bit to learn that. I've done a huge amount of public speaking and sales, so I'm probably a lot more fortunate than many people with that. Um, uh, yeah, again, it gets back to just proper escalation. You want to plan the date. You want to be touching on the shoulder, touching on the small of the back, maybe touching on the knee if she's sitting down. You want to be increasing levels of eye contact. And you want to wait till you've done a lot of that before you kiss. For anyone who wants an advanced player strategy, which used to be my lifestyle, it's not anymore. I will I would tend to intentionally, because I read signals very well, get a girl to the point where she clearly wants me to kiss her, like she's gagging for it. Sorry, ladies on the call. And I don't. I just give her this beautiful sort of spiritual hug. It's something I actually literally learned in Indian ashram, how to hug a person properly. It's a beautiful thing. It's one of the most relaxing things in the world. It makes sex so much better. Um, so I'll give them a hug like that, so they feel more and more drawn to me physically. And if I'm whatever in the player mode or whatever you want to call it, promiscuous mode, I'll delay the kiss longer and longer and longer. Like I'll wait way longer than she wants. Nearly always till I'm back in the bedroom where I can kiss, and then I'm also in a position to, sorry, ladies, to close the deal. Um, I just find that in my personal funnel. And I think that's the case for many of my clients. If you kiss a girl passionately in a bar or in a restaurant, and you've got this whole logistical journey to get her back to your house, as soon as you kiss a girl, particularly if there's tongues involved, she start thinking, "Oh, okay, I'm feeling something down between my legs." And then they start this debate in their mind. Do I want to sleep with him? Do I want to sleep with him? Do I want to sleep with him? And they start this long, long, long yes, no list. So yeah, I tend to use hugs, which I think are much, much more beautiful. Because if you delay your first kiss till it's this beautiful moment where she's desperately wants it, and you're in this beautiful situation to sort of continue the kiss, I just think it's a lot more beautiful. I think it's a gigantic mistake to kiss too early in the process, because it can be magical. I'm old school because I grew up when we were told that AIDS was going to wipe everyone out, which was another bit of BS unless you're gay or a drug user. So people basically legs just slammed shut in the 80s. We had probably the least promiscuous decade in a long time. Um, so yeah, I've always used condoms, even with my girlfriends. I know a lot of younger women don't bother with that. But yeah, the first time the condom comes off, whether that's after 10 goes or whatever your number is, it's a really beautiful thing because it's sort of saying I'm special about you. So I've probably got similar thoughts with the kiss. Okay, all the question answers jumped on later. Um, still is saying beauty is fluid with age for both sexes. You're absolutely right. I mean, Audrey Hepburn, Christy Turlington. Um, yeah, I agree with that completely. I mean, it's some French actress I can't think of. I might.
You missed, sorry, you missed one as well, James. What if the girl asks for a man's age during a random meetup? It means she likes you usually? Question mark.
Oh, that's an excellent question. Um, I'll let Tess answer because you'll get the hot woman point of view.
Okay.
Then I'll jump in with like the synthesis of a
Hmm,
hundred hot
yeah.
women and a few player guys.
Yeah, I think if a girl's asking you your age, or if she's asking you anything about yourself, that's a good sign. It's showing that she's intrigued, at least, wants to figure out something about you. So that's good. Um, yeah, age for women, I think, is yeah, it's not as important as you think it is, just like other superficial things. Yeah, it really comes down to charisma, confidence, masculinity. Um, age isn't as important. So, but yeah, if she's asking your age, it probably means that she does have some level of interest. Yeah.
That's definitely true. Um, when you start to get the skills and you can ask good questions, you can escalate. What's generally going to happen is you'll meet a girl, she'll be interested in you. Particularly if she's hot, she's often not interested straight away in a major way, unless you've actually used the surrounding social environment to your advantage, which can change everything. Or you've got some killer Instagram and she's immediately interested, or you're famous or something, or really hot. Um, so yeah, generally what a lot of girls will do is if you're doing this well, um, you'll ask them questions, you'll increase so I'm on crutches, so I keep moving around, which is probably very unprofessional to try to make my foot comfortable to have a lot of space under this desk. Um, so yeah, generally what happens is a girl will get to a point where she's talking about herself if you do this well, at least according to the social coach method, and you're escalating on her, as in slightly increasing levels of touch. And then a lot of them will get to the point where they just fire all these questions at you. How old are you? What do you do for work? Just so many. They're the big ones. Um, do you have a girlfriend? Sometimes they ask. So yeah, if a girl does get the point of asking sort of the CV questions, she probably is interested in you. That's why you've got to be very careful about giving away too much of your CV, particularly an impressive one, too early, because that makes you look like you're trying a little bit too hard. Um, uh, like the thing with dating, it's not like physics or maths where, you know, everything that comes out my mouth is 100% true. Some of it's 95 or 98, whereas some of it's 70, some of it's even 50. Other stuff will depend radically on the girl's age or her background. Um, okay, very good question. Um, good question from Luke. What are your thoughts on age ranges men seek looking for a suitable partner to have kids with? Min versus Max. I'm 41. Um, okay. Uh, while we're here, um, myself and Tess are just figuring out this whole YouTube live thing and when we're going to do it and how often we're going to do it. The average view time for YouTube live is not too bad. Um, so it seems people are liking it and we seem to be getting more people. So if you guys have any preferred nights, we were thinking Thursday and Sunday to begin with. But yeah, if anyone could put their 2 cents in, that would be really helpful in us serving you. Obviously, I do coach a lot of guys, there's a few billionaires, and a lot of guys with really good businesses and professions, and we help a lot of blue collar guys too. But yeah, there are people who just can't afford our courses. So I sucked at this for a long, long, long time. So I'm quite happy to help people here, which is a lot more fun than me than many other things. Um, Excellent, excellent question. So if you guys could give me, we haven't got big complimenters, big question askers. Excellent, excellent question on age. Um, the big metric with age, that's a fantastic question. Age, and dating. Okay, I should do a whole YouTube live about that. That's amazing. Um, okay, a woman's preferences around age are going to depend a lot, hugely, on how healthy you are. That's probably one of the biggest ones. Social status will matter hugely. Um, Also, are you a cool guy? Are you some 48-year-old who just got divorced, who's gone and got his hairs on his head dyed as close to his natural color as he can? He's gone and got these shiny white teeth, who's gone out and sort of covered himself in Versace and Hugo Boss and bought a Ferrari or whatever he can afford. Are you one of these try-hard older guys, or are you cool? Now, if you can have some level of health, possibly a high level of health, plus some status, plus you're cool, um, I don't know. I'm saying this publicly, but this, I don't know if it's hurt me. I really don't know if it's hurt me. And the fact, I'm not a muscle man by any stretch. I've lost a bit of weight with the leg. I mean, the interest I'm getting from girls in their early 20s, and last girl I slept with was early 20s. I just don't think it's a I just don't think it's a barrier at all. So yeah, if you've got those three things going for you, health, some level of status, and you're cool, and obviously all the other stuff, like you've got stuff in common. I mean, I don't think I've tapped out by any stretch. I'm nearly 54. So I don't think age matters that much. But if you start taking some of those things away, health especially, because I mean, the idea of some really hot 22-year-old or 28-year-old with some, disgusting, horrible, saggy skin, 55-year-old or 40-year-old or something, that's probably just so repulsive. You'd need whatever, Orson Welles or billionaire standards to pull that off. You need, or Pavarotti, you need some incredible charisma. Orson Welles and Pavarotti, for those of you who like trivia, they ran through staggeringly beautiful women like Warren Beatty. Like, I mean, Orson Welles might have defeated Warren Beatty actually in the philandering competition. He's a hell of a lot more talented. So yeah, if you've got enough status, everything goes out of the question. So let me just get back to the question. Hopefully you're enjoying my question on age. What are your thoughts on age ranges men seek looking for a suitable partner to have kids with, min versus maximum age? Um, I just really don't think it matters that much, especially if you're 41. Um, the other thing I've got to add here, Tess, you can probably add to this as well if you want. This is something really important. Yeah, we've coached so many guys in their 40s and 50s to date women and have relationships with women in their early 20s. Something that happens for the women on the call is a lot of guys who say 50, they'll learn how to date a 22-year-old and they'll do that for 6 months. And then they'll snap backwards, go, no, that's too young for me. And then they'll go back to 30 or maybe even 35, but they want to do it. Just like Asian guys want to sleep with a bunch of white girls and then they often end up with an Asian long term. So I the big question here on age and women is her level of sophistication, socioeconomic status. So if you're, I don't know, I think it's mainly Australians. We only promote it to Australians, I think, because of the time. I didn't want to annoy the US guys by sending them a stupid 6 in the morning thing or something. If she's a bogan and she's just posting all the time on Instagram, and let me do my Australian girl voice. Oh, hi, I'm Sharon. You're really cute. You want to go on a date sometime? You buy me a beer? If she's one of them, um, I'm probably upsetting people. She may be programmed by society to feel icky about guys, more than 5 years older than her, because that's the way we're programmed. But if she's reading books, if she's traveled, if she's got parents who are slightly hippie or professional or educated, um, quite frankly, and I've had this feedback from many of my ex-girlfriends, most, because a lot of them are way younger than me, all of them are way younger than me. The feedback is that from a fly around the world elite model, you say, why would I date a guy in my 20s? I'd be insane. It'd be the dumbest thing I could ever do. What's he going to give me? He's a joke. He's on drugs. He's drinking. He's got no culture. He's never traveled. All he's done is maybe played sport and drunk alcohol with his buddies. He's not established in any way. He probably can't eat in a restaurant without embarrassing me. He's got nothing to teach me. He's got nothing to give me. So this is very sad for younger men if you want to get the hottest girl to have a brain. But yeah, so many younger women, they don't want to date guys their own age, even though that's sort of the idea the media gives you. Um, so Tess currently is dating an amazing guy who's quite close to her age. Um, you can you can comment on that if you want. Um, so yeah, I've done something silly. Now here we go. Tell me if I miss any good questions. Stavros had asked us a few times. It might be a tough question for a female coach, but Tess is good. What are guys with a disability doing wrong in not being able to date a woman without a disability? Um, I've already said it depends on the nature of the disability. That's a
Yeah.
huge thing. So we really need more information about that to give you an honest answer that would apply to you, because there's obviously some level of disability. It's like, no way, it's never going to happen. Whereas other levels of disability that, they're definitely overcomable. Exactly the same way a guy who thinks he's shorter or ugly or the wrong color or something can overcome it.
Yeah.
Tess, do you have
Yeah,
any?
I agree completely. That's quite a complex question. I actually work on and off in disability support as well. So I've worked with a lot of people with disabilities, and it's that's a broad spectrum. You can't just say I have a disability. I mean, um, yeah, it's that would have to be case by case. So it's hard to give it quite a detailed answer there. Yeah, it might be something a little bit personal you don't want to share here, but yeah, it's definitely not it doesn't have to be a barrier to dating someone without a disability. Definitely not. Depending on what that is.
Great, yeah. So we need more detail about your particular case, I think, because the answer is yes, but we need to know a lot more. So, I mean, he'll be a famous athlete, but Oscar Pistorius dated a really, really hot girl before he murdered her. Sorry, my sense of humor is definitely pre-Me Too, pre-wokeness. J Jim Jeffries, the Australian comedian, has probably his best bit on that. Anyone's interested? Um, 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 Wayne M saying that would be good if you're 50 and can date a 30-year-old. Yeah, I probably shouldn't say live, but yeah, uh, yeah, I tend to be much younger than that. The thing with me and my dating habits is they're really impressive women. I mean, yeah, I mean, and the biggest metric with me in the top 10 women of my life, probably top 20 if I sat and thought about it, is they've all been big, big readers. I mean, the greatest woman of my life, I mean, she'd read everything by Tolstoy, Dostoevsky, Nietzsche, Socrates, Plato. I should say everything, but close. I mean, she was smarter than any person I've ever met in my life when she was 20. Um, Literally. So yeah, I tend to date girls who read a lot and young. I mean, there's an incredible dating tip for you, one of the best of all. My head approach coach, not putting tradesmen down by any stretch, but he's a carpenter. You wouldn't expect him to have this incredible conversation skills and destroy like PhD lawyers and barristers, but he does. He does. Why is that? He's also quite a talented musician. Um, and some equally talented musicians said, if you want to improve your songwriting, read a lot of literature. So he's read like Dante and Dostoevsky and a whole bunch of the great writers. And surprise, 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 his conversation skills are unbelievable, unbelievable. So yeah, that's one of the best dating tips I can give you. I'm being really generous on these for some reasons. There's two absolutely killer things men can do to improve their success with women. I've given you one of them. Read books, particularly literature, because it turbocharges your conversation skills. I obviously write stuff to attract you guys to my programs. Um, it's called copywriting for anyone who doesn't know. And when I was reading War and Peace by Tolstoy, I'm just, who wrote that? That wasn't me. ChatGTP couldn't do that. That's extraordinary. But it was me channeling the greatest writer who's ever lived. So yeah, huge tip. Let's get some interaction. This is a very quiet audience. There's still a bunch of you on. Um, still a bunch of you on, just very shy people today. Yeah, that's why they're on a dating thing on a Thursday night because they're shy. Sorry, that wasn't a neg in old pickup artist terms. Um, who can guess there's two hobbies that will completely transform your attractiveness to women, even if you're short, disabled, Asian, what is it? I've given you one of them. What's the second one? Anyone have a guess? Tess, can you keep me up to date on the questions, please?
Yeah, it looks like some people are just having a little bit of a chat between themselves.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think we've covered all the questions actually.
Yeah, Stella, good comment from Stella. Natural is better. Dyeing a beard is like the guy polishing his Harley constantly.
Mhm.
Um, if you can't be yourself, move on. Uh, Stella, 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 you win the prize. Martial arts. She got it.
Mhm.
She had to come to one of my boot camps. Krishna says karaoke. I mean, obviously rocks. If you actually achieve being lead singer of a band, then that beats nearly anything. Probably beats being a billionaire. But yeah, martial arts. Yeah, guys who've done the fighting sports. It's just like they walk in the room and girls are like, "What the fuck?" Like seriously. My two Russian female coaches, Natalia and Val. I'm no great. Yeah. I can throw a pretty decent punch, at least I could in my 30s. I'd probably break my little pathetic girl hands. Um, but yeah, I mean, if anyone knows how to fight, I'm hopeless. But I did a little bit of boxing in my 30s, in my early 30s, because I was bullied horrendously by my parent, my mum, and by kids at school because I was bullied at home. I was bullied at so I was a real coward. But yeah, I had a lot of skill if I'd had any guts. But yeah, just the fact that I could throw a decent punch, even though I was already quite athletic from sport, that just did something to me. But yeah, I've got a whole bunch of we coach so many BJJ guys for some reason, jiu-jitsu, and like absolute fucking lethal tip before they go out and approach women before they go on a date. Guess the first thing they're doing. Guess the first thing they're doing. They're going to have a roll with their buddy and they're rolling hard, obviously jumping in the shower. Then they're going on their date and just legs are flying open. Sorry, ladies, you're not meant to say that, but legs are just flying open because their testosterone, which is already very, very high, is off the charts. And yeah, how many serious kickboxers? Um, yeah, I mean, I've coached a lot of fighters for some reason, even though I'm a skinny wimp. And yeah, very few people in life have more energy than me. Very few people, but many fighters do. It's just that there's something about working your way up to hopping in a ring with another man and just going for it that is a very powerful thing to do. One of the biggest regrets of my life is that I didn't use my athletic talent young to actually get, competent at boxing. Um, more information you need, but I heard a guy who was an engineer who sparred reasonably hard. He just said, "Oh yeah, yeah, following a tough sparring session, I really, really struggled at work the next day." Um, so yeah, I hope they didn't get distracted. Someone
Think-
want to test his opinion on something?
Yeah, I just want to quickly comment on that as well. Someone said karaoke. I thought that was actually a good guess as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, anyone who can get up in front of people with a microphone and sing their heart out and do a good job, I think that's attractive. It just shows a lot of confidence. So I thought that was a pretty good guess too.
Fantastic. Stella, a woman's opinion is saying natural's much better. Dyeing a beard would be like a guy polishing his Harley Davidson constantly. Yeah. I'll just say there is one exception to that, and that is if you're a celebrity, and many like Keanu Reeves looks weird, I think, with his dye, but certain celebrities or maybe certain lighting, they can actually do it well, which probably costs a lot of money. But yeah, I just get healthy, man. Just yeah, okay. Vegetables, lots of vegetables, bit of fruit, yoga, sex, especially with someone you really care about, fresh air, stay away from chemicals, um, and sufficient cardio, and particularly once you get over 40, some sort of push-ups or pull-ups or light gym work. You'll be really, really healthy and you can start getting into detox stuff. Just do that and it slows the graying completely. I'd go easy on oils too. I just found that out recently. I went paleo for a while and this is where all this crap came from. And when I got off it, I think I've reversed some of the gray. I teach my advanced boot camp stuff. I teach a fair bit about health. Um, Stella, if you can't be yourself, move on. That's one of the biggest points of all. Don't try to lie to women. Don't try to fake something with women. They know. They know. You're twice as, what is it? You're about 50% stronger than them in the lower body and close to twice as strong as them in the upper body. They're 10 times stronger at you than knowing what's really going on in social situations. Some of the hot ones are probably 20 or 30. Don't try to fool women. That's the dumbest thing you can ever do. Good old pickup artists. Yeah, just manipulate women. That sounds good. But don't get me wrong. There's guys who can manipulate women, but they're yeah, anyway, they've slept with quite a few to get that skill. Um, uh, Martial arts. Thanks. Oh, Wayne, this is great, James. Do girls like Tess meeting guys on apps, nightclubs, cold approach on street? I don't think Tess is going to like any of that. But I'll throw over to her.
Yeah, to be honest, it doesn't really matter what the setting is. If someone were to approach me really well, and there was instant attraction, if we were able to build that instant attraction straight away, um, yeah, whether that's at a nightclub or cold approach on the street, it wouldn't matter to me too much. Dating apps has been a bit hit and miss for me. Yeah, I went on a couple okay dates. Um, but yeah, there's nothing like that face-to-face interaction. I think, yeah, when you have that initial spark with someone, it's kind of undeniable. Whether or not, um, yeah, apps is like it helps because you can kind of figure out if you have maybe some similar interests, which helps. But then, if you go on a date and there's no vibe, it just doesn't work. So yeah, there's real strength in being able to approach face to face and make that work straight away. That's what we aim for.
Fantastic. Um, Let me see. Apps, cold approach, street. Street's going to be the best of all. I think hobbies interests will be number one. Um,
Mm.
Cold
Yeah.
approach the street. The big thing with where you approach girls is for most guys, I got to travel for most of my 30s, so I approach girls traveling and in cafes and all sorts of places. But for the average client of mine, this isn't good for my sales and marketing. There's three magic tricks and two supermodels will land on your dick as soon as you implement these three magic tricks um, that I can teach you. The truth is, you get the skills from someone like Tess on Zoom, and maybe you go to bars speed dating yourself. Then this is the client arc of all our clients, and then you do the boot camp and you take that eight or tenfold, and then you get a couple of good wings. You might meet them on the boot camp, and then for a period, maybe a month minimum, 3 months, you go out to bars at least two or three times a month, and you try to commit to doing, you know, at least five or six approaches a night and hopefully get one or two long interactions as well. Then once you get to that level, then you start doing the random day game where you can do the cold approach on the street, or you can better still go to festivals or stuff together. And you get a feeling of being the dominant men in the room because um, women don't look at the best looking guy, they look at the highest status group in the room. This is something men don't have a fucking clue about. I didn't for a long time. Can you swear on YouTube? I've been very good today, given I'm tired. So yeah, you want to be part of the high status group in the room. So yeah, that's the thing. It's not being tall and handsome. Um, so yeah, where you approach them, I sound like a broken down record, but get the skills and then approach in what Tony Robbins calls net time as you're walking around doing your day-to-day life at the gym, yoga, whatever you do, whatever it is you do, you probably like to see girls you're interested in. Walking your dog at the beach is an amazing one. Um, and then you do net time and you do hobbies and interests. And hobbies and interests is going to get you your wife and the women who make the biggest difference in your life. But net time can get you great women too. Just doing the pickup artist thing and just pursuing them. If you just cold approach a really hot girl, I mean, I don't know. You need something really special. You need a lot of skill to actually get her in bed unless she's got some issues. But if you can orchestrate a situation where you get to meet someone who's with her and they introduce you, I mean, the number of I don't know, I'm giving away too many things that sound bad. The number of gay fucking hairdressers or makeup artists I talk to in New York, they're trying to get my paws on a model. So I didn't want to cold approach her. I wanted to meet her subtly and through the side door. So if we do end up to be something special, it's like, oh, so how'd you guys meet? Oh, you cold approached me at the Gansevoort. No, uh, what's it? Sebastian, my hairdresser, introduced us, or something like that. So yeah, there's a it's a strategy. It's like a different occupation too to get good at it, or to even to find the woman you want. Still saying because mixed martial arts requires self-control, discipline breeds wisdom. Yes, I agree with all of that. But the thing is, it just gives this guy this massive amount of testosterone that attracts women more than anything. Disabled, short, ugly, Asian, whatever your issue is, get your testosterone up. You're going to go from whatever you think you are to like high. Um, Salvador saying martial arts hasn't worked for me. If you read books and you do martial arts and you're amazing at them, but you got no skills with women or limited skills with women, or you're looking in the wrong places, or you dress badly, yeah, it might help a bit in terms of when you're doing it, women will show you more attention that you don't currently read because you learn reading signals. Great comment, Salvador. But yeah, when you do get the skills, you'll find your martial arts just turbocharges it. I think we might wrap up pretty soon. Excellent thing from Luke. Tess, we might put this on the agenda for next time because I want to do it justice. Some of Tess's background, bullet points, multiple degrees, traveled quite a lot in her early 20s, incredible hobbies and interests. In terms of, yeah, as I said, I keep saying paragliding, surfing, all this stuff that a lot of guys are interested in. Sorry, I keep looking at the questions on you guys. It's very unprofessional. I'm new to this. How do I solve this? I should probably just look here. Um, there we go. YouTube's already solved that problem for me, but it's delayed. Um, and yeah, for a very smart, very hot girl, she actually does some. I should let Tess can do this next time. Um, uh, Good comment from Stella. If legs didn't fly open, none of us would be here. Okay, we might just wrap up with this. Oh, there's more women. Um, do women test men more in the early stages? Talking 40 plus. Stella, if you could elaborate on that que question, because you're a woman, I'll answer it. What would be your experience that a girl NF pulls harder tests on a man she's more interested in, or vice versa? Absolutely. The more interested a hot girl is, or maybe any girl in you, the more brutally she's going to test you. Because she's trying to establish potentially whether you're husband material. If it's just some hot guy with a cool Instagram she wants to have a fling with so she can post photos on his waterfront apartment, the testing is probably not going to be that rigorous. Or if it's just a fling. But if a girl's looking for something kind of serious, i.e., more attracted, one of the other dating coaches, I can't remember who I don't particularly like, but he had this clip of two girls in Miami or something going, oh, that's the big secret. That's the big secret. If we really like a guy, we made him wait till the eighth day. If we don't like him, but he's hot, we just fuck him straight away. That's not verbatim, but yeah. So if you are, this is why guys who talk about their career and their car and their accomplishments and blah, blah, and they're really hot, that's why they're just killing themselves. I mean, it took me telling girls about my CV, which I still fall into sometimes. A little bit of it's okay. Yeah, I've traveled to 100 countries. Yeah, I retired from finance and didn't work again. And blah, blah, until I ran a business and very poorly and stuff like that up. So yeah, the more a girl likes you, the more masculine you are, the more high value they are, the more she's going to test you. Val, my Russian female trainer, has got a great story about how she slept with this guy on the third date, which is very unusual for her. She makes guys hike across Siberia in the winter before they get to kiss her, usually. Slept guy on the third date. He was like a low-level pro kickboxer, very attractive guy, apparently. Apparently sex was great. But yeah, he was completely off her radar from the sort of very successful men she usually dates. And then she dated a Russian billionaire. And yeah, he had to wait 3 months. And she said he copped another 6 weeks, if I'm remembering the story well. He had to wait 6 more weeks when he took her on a private jet to Milan. She's like, no, no, legs not open for 6 weeks now. You're too desirable. You get girl like me too easy. I make you wait longer. There's some very there's some very good tips for the desirable guys. If you want a really attractive girl, she's going to put you through hell. If you want to use your waterfront apartment or something to just sleep with a bunch of average girls, it's going to help. Stellar IQ, do men test women in the early stages, talking 40 plus? Um, are we talking age groups? The guys who are a bit more sophisticated they might not be aware that they're doing it. Um, that's like a topic for another YouTube live. Um, the more sophisticated ones, which is probably the ones sophisticated as in with women, which is probably the ones you want, probably do. A lot of them won't be aware of it. I mean, I just don't beat around the bush lately. If I meet a girl, I think, oh wow, I could take time out of my calendar to go on a date with you. I mean, I'm going, tell me the last great book you read. And that's basically my sorting question. If I don't get an answer to that, let alone a good answer, I'm sort of, nah, nice to meet you. Um, there's not, unless she's traveled a lot, there's not really much that can make up for that. So you can call that a test if you want. But yeah, I mean, I'm really, um, when okay, here's a good example that the women might be interested in. Um, if I want to date like a very high status girl, like a model who's been to Columbia or something, um, or any girl who's got a very high opinion of herself, I'm like the stingiest bastard in the world. If I ask her on a date, I'll buy a cup of tea or something, but I just don't buy them anything. I don't spend a cent on them. And then I've had a bunch of girls, probably a dozen, be close to that, say, you're like the tightest, stingiest guy I've ever met, and you traveled your entire 30s or something. This is a few dates in, usually post sex. And I just turn around and go, oh, I know. Me mum and dad are from Scotland. They're tight as you could be, tight as you could ever believe. And they sort of laugh. So yeah, I mean, men who know what they're doing definitely do test women. We might not see it as that. It's only when you ask me this great question that I thought about it consciously. But I think the truth is that just turns you guys on because, oh God, this guy really gets it. He must have dated a whole bunch of other women as attractive as me, therefore he's pre-selected. I mean, I just basically plagiarize Charles Darwin or the post-Darwin people like the evolutionary psychologists all the time. I love them. We might wrap up then. Is there anything I have to do to date a girl without a disability because I have a disability? Would need to know more about your disability personally. Yes, of course there is. Basically everything I've told you tonight, particularly ask good questions, be more masculine, have a date plan. But we can't give you an extent you can, you know, fight above your weight unless, you give us a bit more detail. If you give us more detail next time, we'd love to help. Um, if she doesn't want NF, if she doesn't want to commit, we're going to cut it here. I'm getting hungry and I think we're going far too long. How long have we been going for? If someone can tell me. I mean,
Yeah, we've been going for an hour and 53 minutes.
oh well, I mean, we've still got quite a few people on. So, if she does not want to commit and let me be part of her life, and she does not want to be a part of my life, I'm not interested. Oh, that's a comment. Okay. Um, patient. All right. I'm not going to contradict Stella because she's made so many great comments. Be patient, you'll know when the right person comes along. That's true. One of the questions I got asked at one of my advanced events is, how do you know when you fall in love? And I'm like, it's the dumbest question of all time. It hits you like a fucking African elephant charging at you. It's like a fucking Mack truck hitting, like one of Elon Musk's rockets hitting you going that way. It's every cell in your body feels it. If you're in love, you fucking know it. It's like nothing else. I mean, no ayahuasca fucking trip compared to being in love for me. I can tell you that. Unfortunately, I've only had that experience once because I got it so heavily. Um, NF saying intelligence would be attracted for me. Intelligence is much more important than beauty. It probably has been for the last 10 years. I tried to date a bunch of bisexual girls. I shouldn't say this, might get in trouble, who just, they're singing songs from some Disney movie when I want to watch a fucking Ingmar Bergman movie or read a novel or something. It's like, oh God, this is when I'm thinking about other girls I've been with, like, why am I putting up with this for all the threesomes? That sounds very conceited, but I wasted far too much time just going in, out, in, out, in, out. Incredibly pleasant way to live, but not, I wasted a lot of time. I should have read a best-selling book or helped millions of men, not thousands. Um, Thank you so much, Luke. That's great feedback. I keep forgetting. I'm supposed to be a good salesman. Um, we need to. Sorry, where's that? I'm just going to be back in 1 second. Um, Oh God, his brain's starting to function. I've lost my YouTube thing. Here we go. Um, yeah, I should have said this like 4 times, given we've gone so long. If anyone wants to change their life, there's probably not going to be many people interested, given I've left it so late. I'm a bit of an idiot. If anyone wants to really change their life, um, yeah, just doing one date with Tess. I'm not saying it'll completely change it, but it'll give you a roadmap to change it. It's disappointing we can't get someone to come on because this is what we're promising. Um, but yeah, I shouldn't tell you guys because you won't come on live on Zoom. But anyway, you can get a chance to do it here. Hopefully, there's some guys left who take that up. We might not be doing this for very long because when these YouTube lives grow, we're not going to be giving every guy I was about to swear there. I don't know if you can on YouTube. So yeah, that's a big opportunity. Let me just finish out the tends to be attractive for me. Brain's most important, Stella. Many women, that's a great comment from Stella. Stella, feel free to come back to these. It's wonderful to have a woman who's, you know, I love people who can see the female point of view and see the male point of view, which is still something that exists, but it's getting rarer in the modern world. Who don't think all men are evil, who don't think all women are evil, unlike many of the pickup dating community, on probably and certainly feminism. Brain's most important. So many women, even women who aren't that smart, I'm not saying anything about you, Stella. So many women who aren't that smart are going to say, yeah, the brain's number one because brain links to social status, links to social status, links to her ability, your ability to provide far more than biceps. 100 times more than biceps. Biceps are pretty useless. We got fucking drones. Who needs biceps? We can win fights with drones, and Elon Musk robots will do everything that requires heavy lifting soon. Girl likes a masculine, high testosterone guy, but the muscles. Thank you so much, Luke. That's awesome. Luke, if you've got feedback about days that work with you, we'd love to know that. I don't think younger men bother with testing, Stella. That's probably accurate. If they've had more than their fair share of women, I think you'll find they do. Um, but yeah, most of them have no clue. I didn't know what testing was. Um, uh, Tess has excellent advice too. Thank you for that, Stella. Um, 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 that's awesome. Well, yeah, if anyone wants to jump on, just if anyone wants to get that shot with Tess, that would be wonderful. And yeah, I hope you guys got a ton out of this. I meant to stop these much sooner, but unfortunately, the 7 o'clock thing, I didn't. That was a tech stuff up there. I apologize for that. But I've got my super gun tech person back, so she was on for a bit. Anyway, thanks so much for supporting us on our early ones. We really do appreciate that. I should say this much earlier. If anyone's got tips about how to show the question that's being answered up on screen or anything like that, that would be super duper useful. Thank you so much, Wayne. Oh, any positive comments are really encouraging for us because it still says we've got a fair few on, um, but we're not getting many questions at all tonight. So any positive reinforcing comments will get you many more opportunities to learn from us. Um, because I've got friends who know much more about business and marketing than me say, you got to do these every night. You got to do these every night. Even if no one shows up, you just answer questions from last time. Um, so yeah, thank you. Any nice comments? There's been a bunch actually. Will bring us back for more. Um, so, oh, Stella, she knows more about marketing than me. StreamYard. Tess is so hot. You should see her in a miniskirt on the boot camp. I'm trying to sell you on the boot camp. Her black one was particularly fetching. Um, bu- 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 bum. Thank you so much for that, Krisha78. Well, anyway, I hope you guys got a ton out of that. We over delivered massively tonight. Hopefully, someone will rock up for the coaching. Um, and yeah, uh, save up your questions for next time. Because yeah, the better the questions, the better this goes. But yeah, thanks so much for like the video and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Oh yeah, Tessa's got a fucking amazing smile. I mean, she was a model. We've got a bunch of pictures of her on catwalk. With her permission, we should promote them more. Um, yeah, she's got an astounding smile. Actually, that's another metric I look for in women. Yeah, I think the top six women in my life all have big mouths. I don't know if that's something. I got a tiny little pathetic mouth, because my orthodontist did something very stupid. Every orthodontist does something very stupid. Sorry if there's any orthodontists who would like coaching from us. I know you make fantastic money. You're great. You're saving the world. You should get every one of you should get a Nobel Prize. But Ben K, James, have you recently been crucified by wounds in your wrists? That's a great question. Um, I know a lot about health. Um, I'll quickly answer it. This might not be interesting to many people. Feel free to tune out now if you're interested in health. Um, I live in Bondi Beach and I went through a lot of stress with COVID. I mean, the business I had, it was a hell of a lot fucking, it was just terrible, so stressful for me. And then following COVID, there was a construction boom in Bondi. And I was basically living and working in construction, bang, 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 bang. It was driving me insane. It was driving a lot of people insane. But I had a really beautiful home office in Bondi Beach. Um, and it really got me. And then I escaped because there was much more construction planned. I'll probably go back. I might go back. But and I escaped and Bali wasn't great. I went to Lombok and I found a place that was quiet for 2 months. And then they're building a villa out the front of me. So yeah, this is a bit wacky. I should probably shouldn't put it on YouTube. But yeah, just the exposure has made me hypersensitive to it. And yeah, it's anyway, I'll give you more. But yeah, these come from I'm like the healthiest guy ever. Like COVID was over in a few hours for me, and I've only had one cold. It's 2005, and that was horrendous following a bunch of business travel. Um, 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 yeah, so these are not wounds. These are some sort of immune lymph reaction to just being under constant stress. When I'm sitting with construction going on around me, my pulse rate's far too high now. It should be 16 beats lower because I got hit a little bit today. Lovely comment from Wayne. Anyway, I'm going to sign off. I crap on too much. Can't thank Tess enough. Oh, thanks, guys. These comments mean so much to us, and they're going to increase how many of these we do because I don't. There were very few questions tonight till much later on. Um, very few questions. Um, so it says we've got plenty of viewers, but given the low question percentage, I'm like, oh, is this good? Are people responding to it? So comments at the end will get us more free value. I mean, yeah, I could improve my marketing and charge a hell of a lot more, but yeah. Anyway, I'm crapping on. Anyway, great to see you. Oh, I don't understand this, but anyone who likes this is really going to help us. If any, oh, if any of you could cut and paste your comments into the actual thing below, that would probably mean the world to us. I don't know. Stella might know the answer to that. She had some good marketing tips. And that would get us more of these because the more people we get on, the better the questions we're going to have, the more likely we get someone to coach, which will be amazing for you. Um, Absolutely amazing. Um, and the more often we're going to do this. Because, yeah, it's you guys who are providing the questions. I can give you the old standard ones, but your questions are much more fun for me and more valuable. And we'll wrap up with shares the best smile as well. Thanks, guys. We'll let you know. We'll try to give you a bit more notice for the next one. Um, Thanks so much for your support. If you like the channel, remember if anyone wants that date with Tess, um, yeah, I'm not saying it'll change your life, but it'll give you the roadmap to change your life quickly. And if you apply even one or two things she teaches you, it'll start to change your life. Okay, guys, thank you so much for that. Talk soon.
Thanks,
Thanks,
guys.
Tess.
See you.
Bye then.